share screen. There we go. And slideshow. Let's get the slideshow started. There it is. Think I'm
All
good.
righty.
All
You
right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Tuesday, January 14th, 2 weeks into the new year 2025, and we have a great presentation for you today. Powerful listing presentations, and I'm just going to jump right into it, Adam. Just jump right in.
Thanks, Tone. I appreciate that. And Happy New Year, everybody. Let's make this a huge year. Now, we are going to talk about powerful listing presentations because that's what it's all about, getting the listings, right, Tone? You control the listings, you control the market. So we're going to get into that a little bit. But before we do, now that we're in the new year, guys, you have to figure out what are your three most important goals for the quarter. Notice how I didn't say annually, for the quarter. Let's get that down immediately, everyone. Please, what do you want to achieve? So you got to do three checklists. I know it sounds like a lot, but I am telling you, the most organized people who do very well in real estate, they have these three checklists. First checklist, it's going to be a daily checklist. Why? Because it's important to understand your morning routine, any different market intelligence that you're going to look at, like your daily hot sheets, etc., any huddle ups you have going on, any role playing. And people might say, well, I don't do that. Believe it or not, it helps a lot. Objection handling, etc. You can meet with your transaction coordinator, look at the, pending listing check and social media posts. You need to have a daily schedule. It may change, but that's okay. You need to have that daily. Now, if you have a daily checklist, a lot of people also have, next slide is the weekly checklist. Why? Because you should have weekly goals, guys. You want to study your competition, attend coaching sessions, review your numbers, get some skill development if you have some time during the week. All sellers follow up, book X amount of appointments. Yes, put how many appointments. If you believe that you can achieve it, self-fulfilling prophecy, tell yourself how many appointments you want to get, how many homes you want to list, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, this is stuff that will organize you unbelievably. And now that we saw our daily and weekly, Tony, the next slide obviously is going to be monthly in your monthly checklist. So you want to be your own CEO of everything in your business. You want to review the plan to your actuals, okay? With Tony, or if you have a coach or anybody. Budget review, set aside X amount for taxes, set aside Y for investment. You want to also get on top of next month on your marketing campaigns and look at your results. Guys, if you can't measure it, I mean, what's it worth? Really, you have to measure everything. So, yes, it's a lot of checklists. Even if you cut it down, it'll help you. I promise you that.
Right, but you got to live by a checklist. I mean, I live by checklists all the time, because most people, I mean, I did this early on in my career, 30 plus years ago. I would try to go to bed every night trying to remember what I have to do the next day, and if you're whatever's in your brain at the end of the night, trying to remember what you have to do the next day, you have to have a checklist or put it in your schedule, no matter how little or small it is, or I'm always putting stuff in so to free my brain up on that. Anytime someone says, call me as soon as you can, I always schedule it. I put it in my schedule. I have a daily checklist, a monthly checklist. I don't have a weekly one because it's all in my days, but I definitely have what I do monthly and what do I do daily, of course.
It, you're so right. At night, you start thinking about things and this and that, and you're 1,000% right on there. So checklists do work, and you don't have to have all three, like Tony said. See what works for you. Now, here's some fun suggestions from a top lister at another company. All right. So this guy was the number one lister at his company. It was unbelievable. What he did was he arrived 10 minutes prior to take pictures outside. That shows you already that, your customers are seeing you're already invested in the house, even though you don't have the listing yet, right? Then when you get to the door, you ask to take off your shoes while you're taking off your shoes. Even if they say no, it shows them the sign of respect and you're taking it off. Here's my favorite part, Tone. And if it's a husband and wife or whoever, ask for a drink of water. Because if a wife tells her husband, "Oh, can you get him water, please?" believe it or not, the wife is most likely the decision maker.
I
If
like
it's the
that. I
husband
like
gets the water. Yeah, it's
that.
interesting to think about. Then you want to take notes around the house like you already listed it. You want to offer to supply them, hey, you know what? I have a great person that can bring moving boxes over here. They can, I mean, think about that intrinsic value that you can bring to them. And here's my favorite part, Tone. We look around the house. Now, this is a true story. What happened? This guy was looking around the house and he saw this lime green walls, an older lady, a lime green wall. She was elderly and she had all these pets with halos in a circle as a like painted on there. And how are you going to show houses like that? So you didn't want to insult her either. So what they said was, he said, listen, I have a great photographer. He's professional. Why don't I bring him over here? He'll take a beautiful picture and put it on canvas. You can take that beautiful mural with you anywhere, and then we can help you paint that a neutral color. So when we show the house, blah, blah, blah. It was awesome. So offer that value, guys.
I like it. That's great.
Now, there's many types of listing presentations. This is one from a company that is very successful. They actually use a whiteboard. It's like a 1980s marketing campaign in the city, where you're splashing all these things on the board of what you're going to do. And what's the same thing, guys? This is just another listing presentation. It really shows all of the things you're going to do for them. And yes, it's supposed to look messy and ugly because it just shows the amount of work that an agent will go into. So many different types of presentations out there, guys. Now, what do you have to do? Well, obviously, you should put a pre-listing packet together, some information in there. It's a great way to introduce potential clients to your brand, showcases your expertise. It preemptively addresses any concerns, sets you up to establish a sense of connection. It gets them thinking and prompts questions, okay? And the purpose is really to help the client understand the whole process itself and make that informed decision, And again, your packet may look like an introduction, some testimonials, high level overview, simple step by step, and contact information. But here's the thing, too, Tone. If agents get emailed from all these different companies, come with me. You're a great agent. I love you at Century 21. Come to this company. Come. I keep all those emails. I make copies and put them in my listing presentation and say, you may want to list with me. Century 21. I mean, Remax want me. Keller Williams want me. All these brands want me. I'm a damn good agent. So it's fun. Turn a negative into a positive in that packet.
Exactly. And that's part of my training with agents when they do listing presentations. Similar to that is if they're saying they're going to interview other companies, I always say, oh, yeah, that's a great company. And even better, if they were there and joined us, and explain why they joined us, that gave their sellers more value, and or say, yes, I thought about joining that company too. They're a great company, but I joined Century 21 because this helps my sellers more. Always put it on why you joined Century 21 and what the value it gave the sellers, your clients, not the value for you to them, and remind them, because a lot of times sellers don't know you could go with any company and you chose your company for whatever reasons, but again, concentrate on what the value is to them.
Smart, smart. And you look at a winning listing presentation, Tone. So there's 9 components of a winning listing presentation. The first one, obviously, is a self-introduction. It's vital. You want to establish your experience and expertise. You want to build that I can never say that word, familiarity. There you
Familiarity.
go. With your client to bring the focus back to them. You just explain how your experience would serve that client, clearly lay out what you and your brokerage can do for them to see common ground that builds that trust. So again, you want statements of value in there. You don't really need the fluff. You want to start by sharing your relevant experience, which includes how many years. Even if you haven't been in the industry so long, it doesn't matter, because let's say you sold printers, it doesn't matter, at Dunder Mifflin. So, you basically, you talk about your sales experience. So even if you're not an experienced real estate agent with 20 years, it doesn't matter. You have a lot of life experience that you can talk about that as well. And, anything, any accolades you had, number of homes sold, any anecdotes, etc. Then you want to move on to explain what your brokerage can offer the sellers to them. No,
there.
that's good.
Sorry, jumping the
No,
gun.
you're good. You're good. That's exactly it. Now, local housing market data, guys, sellers are frequently underinformed and overly optimistic about the current real estate market conditions. Why I say that is some people say, well, how can you say that with the internet these days and everybody sees? Because that's the issue, the internet these days. There's a million different stories. They think they know one thing or the other thing, but really they might be underinformed, but they are overly optimistic. So that's your opportunity to set expectations by preemptively correcting assumptions about the market in your area. Be that market specialist, guys. Providing realistic generalizations at this stage can help temper disagreement or disappointment. All right. Now, again, if the market is rocky, you can demonstrate confidence, in expertly navigating them through that turbulence, guys. So there's a lot you can do, but your market overview should really include data on local inventory, listings, selling prices, relevant comps, average days on market, typical home improvements. You know all this, guys, but it's unbelievable. Some people don't include all that. It's crazy. Number three, an explanation of the home selling process. Well, guy, you want to outline, okay, the process and set those expectations. Be flexible. It's okay. So pre-sale activities, marketing, active listing period, accepting offers, the closing period, outline everything because expectations are everything in this industry. If you and guys, an explanation of the pre-listing work needed to be successful. If you haven't seen the property yet, ask your seller questions just to understand the condition, like is it move-in ready, etc. Are there repairs, updates that significantly alter the potential selling price? Just to emphasize the value of having a home that looks beautiful and is in excellent condition. Explain depersonalization, declutter. It's not a matter of what, and that's what I was talking about before. When you have that mural of all those pets that the elderly lady lost, you want to depersonalize everything, guys. So even if the seller isn't willing to make any repairs or renovations, professional cleaning and decluttering will positively affect buyers' perceptions. It just will.
Yeah, I was explain that if they have to make it easy for the buyers to picture themselves in there. So I try to help give our agents some scripts or some ideas to explain that your house is beautiful. Your house is great. This is your house. You made it your own, but we have to neutralize it. We have to declutter so it's easy for them to visualize their furniture here, their pictures on the wall. So it's not a cut to whatever how they're decorating their furniture is. They have to make it as easy as possible to view. And the more stuff, the more colors, the more paintings on the wall, as it makes it harder for them to visualize their stuff. So it's not a cut on their stuff. It's just making it easy for the buyers.
You know what I noticed you said too, Tony? You kept calling it a house. I love that because you want to depersonalize that house. Don't call it a home, call it a house. A house is what they're selling, home is what they're going to move into.
Exactly. I see. I just innately said that, but yes, we were talking to sellers selling their house, and we talked to buyers about their home. So this home, and with buyers and house on house with the seller.
It's exactly right. And you just did it innately. I know. I was listening. I'm like, look at him go. I love it. I love it. A detailed pricing strategy. Of course, you want to ask the seller about their priorities with the sale. Some need to sell quickly. We all know that, guys, while others can wait for the highest possible number. Ask if they're looking for a lease back or if there's any other strategic elements affecting their asking price. These factors will influence the total offer strategy. So you have competitive market analysis. I know you guys, there's all these, millions of things out there. C21 has, everything. CMA is everything when it comes to a detailed pricing strategy. It supports your pricing strategy through comps and relevant data. I know we all know that, but sellers can be emotionally attached to their home, to their house. See, it says home there, to their house. Sometimes sentimental value and a market price don't match. Emphasize the importance of starting with an accurate listing price because if the house is priced too high, a house can languish without offers. We know that, guys. We know that. All right, the highlights of your marketing strategy. Guys, it's pretty simple if you think about it, okay? Some listing agents pay for photography and staging while others have the sellers that actually cover those expenses at all. But make sure you discuss the benefits and steps of these basic marketing strategies. So direct marketing, hosting open houses, listing the home on the MLS and other real estate sites, sending out mail, home staging, discussing the particulars about staging, photography and videography, social media post advertising. Now, with the advent of AI, the more you can, and Tony has some amazing AI presentations that we talked about in the past. So please look them up, guys, because today, man, it's all about social media, AI. You don't have to be an expert, but there's so many things you can utilize, like a chat GPT, when you're creating some of your marketing and posts and all of that, guys, and regular advertising in your local MLS. Website and landing page, internet platforms like Zillow, Realtor. I mean, guys, so many different ways, but those different ways, what's going to separate you? Better social media posts, some amazing AI coming in there, and you don't have to be an expert either. Look up the most basic of basics, it'll help you. Expectations for showings and open houses. Well, you want to take this opportunity in a listing presentation to really explain how you're going to manage and host showings and open houses, because clients may feel uneasy thinking of strangers walking through their house. Assure them that you or a team member will always be present during an open house, and that any private showings will always be conducted by a licensed agent, just so they feel better, guys.
Mhm.
Number 8, you offer a negotiation strategy. So give an overview of how the offer negotiation process works, guys. Assure the sellers that you will present every offer that comes in, and you'll walk through the particulars with them. Provide examples of different offer details they may actually see in the most common areas for negotiation beyond the offer price. Reassure your clients that you'll always act in their best interest. You have a fiduciary responsibility to them and an obligation of being that fiduciary. 9, the final questions and ask. The ask, I should say. At this point, the meeting is coming to a close. Answer any remaining questions. Discuss what needs to happen before you can start with the pre-sale activities. And then ask for their business. Politely assure the sellers that you have the skills and expertise needed to sell their house, and what you would, and you would love the opportunity to work with them. If they are ready to sign, complete the paperwork and finalize that pricing strategy. If they want more time to think things over, that's okay. But give them a deadline by which you will call them, and definitely call them on that date, guys. Don't just say, oh, yeah, we'll get back in touch with you. No, let them know when you're going to follow up. We're professional. Now, objections. They happen, Tone, all the time. So
Yep.
are you familiar? So, some of the common objections that they will have, well, this, that, what can you do here? What can you do there? Well, have you, and then basically you can talk about, I have actually, there's 27 negotiation terms: purchase price, earnest money deposit, escrow, showing how you're prepared and how you also are understanding what's coming down the pipe when it comes to what's going to happen, activities, negotiation is going to show your experience and your confidence. So talking about your 27 terms of negotiation, pretty impressive. What about, ask them, guys, when they're objecting to you, well, hold on, has anyone shared the stats around the number of home sales that fall apart? Because, I take my business and helping you succeed very seriously. Can I show you the 90 ways I help my clients identify, negotiate, and ultimately successfully close their new home? Let me just show you the sheet. In the next slide, you have a sheet of common. Here's the 90 ways we serve you. I mean, what it shows is, wow, 27 terms, the 90 ways. You are all over it. You are giving them the experience that they haven't had ever, and they probably won't have again as a Century 21 agent, and all the things we do for them. You can edit, you can create your own, but this shows and instills confidence in them. Well,
There
I got to
you
tell you,
go.
Tone, it was a good one.
That's also a very good one. One thing I was going to ask, what your one debate when doing a listing presentation is sometimes at the presentation, of course, some people think at the end is now you have to give them a compare market analysis and what their property is worth. And when I coach agents, I usually suggest some agents don't do that at that point. They wait until they got the business. And some agents are like, what? That's what they want to know, because some sellers are shopping who's going to tell them what price their house is the most. So sometimes some agents go into a listing presentation, they don't go, well, we get to that point. We decide that once you decide to hire me for all of these things we're going to do, we're going to sit down, go over the market analysis of what's selling, what's not selling, what's on the market, what's pending. And you are going to, and we're going to sit down and discuss what the best price to be at that market at that minute. And the market's going to dictate the price of your house. So
Yes.
if I give you a value now and there's a sale tomorrow that's higher in your area, your value goes up. If all of a sudden two houses they dumped and they went lower, your value, we're going to exactly when you're ready, we're going to
Great
tell you
point.
there. Or I tell agents to give them a big range and go high on the range. It could be from, they think their house is worth, 500,000. Yeah, it's somewhere
Yeah.
between 450 and 550, somewhere in that range. And you give them a big
Mm.
range at that time. You don't give them a specific amount because you go high, because there's going to be some agents that go in there and go really high just because that's their strategy. It's like, I'm going to tell these people their house is worth a lot more than any other agent. And that's how I'm going to get the business. And you don't want to be that way. You want to give them a range and then say, okay, we're going to come in and we'll specify what we're going to list your house for when you're ready to hire me at that specific time. So that's my suggestion. So I didn't know if you agreed with that too.
Oh, 100%. And Tony, your success, and I've known you for a long time, you've always had great success. So again, your coaching is unbelievable. And I really hope a lot of your agents utilize it because I know there's a lot of nuggets of gold in there. And that's one of the reasons why you're at Century 21. I mean, all the great support is from you. You got a great brand. So again, I'm hoping they access some of this. Even one little nugget will help with your business this year. And this is the perfect time to really start instituting and implementing some new ideas. We're still in January. We are in the first month of Q1. My God, the sky is the limit for
No.
2025.
And a lot of people are very positive. I'm very positive in general, but you are in control. So yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
normally we do these every other week, but this next three we're gonna do like three in a row and then back to every other week. So catch us next Tuesday again, everybody. So thanks for
Sir.
joining us.
Thanks, Tony.
All
Bye,
right, bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye, guys.